was talking about myself. Sense of humor. You can't get a big head when you're a leader. I told you, I was looking around for my glasses the other day and I had them on. I've also gone around with my keys, looking for them in my hand. They laugh at me all the time in the office. If I'm up north at corporate and the water bottles get delivered outside, I'll start carrying them in. I mean, I'll carry them in. I don't ask anybody else's help. You know, my back's not so great, but when I do it, then you see John do it, you see Alex do it, you see Jeff do it, Gil do it. Anybody will grab them, but the delivery leaves them outside the front door of the office. Well, you don't want the water bottle sitting out there, Or say there's a bunch of cardboard boxes in the conference room because of deliveries or whatever, and people just throw them out there. I'll go in there and break down the cardboard boxes. I don't need to wait for someone else to do it. Everybody grabs a mitt and gets in the game. But then when I trip, like we have stairs in the corporate office up north, and I trip going upstairs is one of my things. I don't fall down the steps, but I trip going up. And you'll hear me trip, and then I'll curse, and Bill's laughing because you tripped for going upstairs too. Both of us do. You gotta laugh at yourself, The workplace does mimic the personality of the boss. So the other day, I got an email from a client, and she was just bitter and mean, and she didn't even use correct English in her statement. And I just hated it, and I checked it at home, and I read it on my phone, and I get into the office, and Gil is there, and this is Gil in the morning. Good morning. Like, he's always so damn bright and cheery. So he's like, good morning, and I'm like, and then, Gil and John are all quiet, and they're working, and then I'm like, and I just said, hey, I'm really upset because this client, this is what she said, and, I didn't mean to take it out on you, because Gil had his cup of tea, and he's like, good morning, and I'm like, So, the workplace does mimic the personality, it does. Be inspirational. Now, this really makes me mad, because see the cat in the hat? We have that hat at the office, and Gil was supposed to bring it, but we were in a rush to get out today. So today you are you, that is truer than true. There's no one alive who is youer than you. Inspire people, like Fire Day, but Gil, you're supposed to have the hat on right now. Right? Share your struggles and the difficulties. If you want to be a good leader, hey, I never had it easy. I wasn't born with a golden spoon in my mouth. I was a dishwasher. I was a busboy. I waited tables. I tended bar. We had a little chat one day who had the worst job amongst all of us, and I cleaned the toilets at IKEA in the first one that they opened, okay? And I did it in the mornings before work, all right? I didn't have the worst job. That was, we had another friend who paved US 1 in the summertime with what's it called, macadam? You know what I mean, the tar stuff. And John, I don't know if he's still in the room, John picked watermelons and loaded them on a truck, which really wasn't a truck. They took an old school bus and they cut off the roof and they had to hand up the watermelons and throw them in the school bus. And John got the award for the worst job. But we laugh at ourselves, I mean, my dad didn't hand me my business, far from it. So, but if people know where you came from and what you did and how hard you worked, they know you're no different than them. And they can become inspired to work with you. And remember, I think you all got it, it's people that show up every day, not their titles. The file clerks here, we're down 2 coders. No, Bob and Joey are out today, or whatever, not we're down 2 coders. It makes everybody, come together. And I tell my staff, it's okay that you failed at something. You made a mistake. You didn't deliver. You screwed up. I mean, it happens. What did you learn about it so we can correct it, so we can move forward and share it with everybody, because I know if you made that mistake, I can make that mistake. And for those that are Christian in the room, I always say the last perfect person walked on water and was a carpenter, so, and I have to always say I have broad shoulders, but it's true. I mean, nobody's perfect, so if you make an error, you make a mistake, tell your supervisor, tell your boss, tell your leader, say, I did this wrong, this is what I learned by it. I wanted to share it with everybody so they don't do it. Instead of a bunch of people posturing around, oh, he's stupid, she's stupid. No, let's all learn together. The 8th step is to be warm and accessible. Open your damn door. Open it up. If you're a director that works with the door shut all day long, nobody's going to come to you. You know, if you're a leader, you got to have your door open. It's okay to shut your door if you're taking a conference call. It's okay to shut your door when you're working on a special project that needs to be done, or you need to concentrate on, you know, writing an agreement or a policy and procedure. But make sure you have open door time. Offer advice, but don't dictate. If your door's open and, you know, someone comes to me and says, "Hey Lou, I need to talk to you. You know, I'm taking this night class and I'm really struggling with it. You know, I need to leave early 2 days a week because I want to meet with my instructor in advance because I need some help with it and it's just not clicking. And it's on XYZ topic." I'll be like, okay, that's no worries. Make up the time on the weekend from home. Alex Gill's assistant director, how many classes is he taking now? 4 or 5. He's taking 4 or 5 classes and he works full time. So he's going to be a physician assistant in addition to he's an RHIT. And he's in the U.S. military, Army Reserve now. He's a reservist. So he was out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and he's back today. And Alex is just amazing. He manages his time wonderfully. So if you got to leave at 4 o'clock and not at 5, do you care, Gil? No. No, but because Saturday, Gil will zap you an email. Alex will zap you an email. Hey, I just completed this, attached as a document, please review. You know, so I may not do it on the weekend. I might look at it on Monday, or maybe I'll sit down Saturday and look at it. I know that he's giving his 40 hours, if not more. You know, we recently had a coding manager tell us that she struggles. She has 4 kids, and she's working more than 40 hours a week. And actually, Gil and I did the math, and she's working like, on average, 8.75 hours a day, which is a little bit more. It's 45 minutes more a day on average when you add them up. But she's juggling it because she's got 4 kids, and you know, you got a parent-teacher conference, or this one gets sick and you got to take them to the hospital, the doctor. You know, so some days I'm sure it feels long, but when we told her you're working, she's salaried too, at a very high salary, and she's well worth it. But she needs to be able to tell us that, to communicate, and then we need to listen. And part of John's job, when he was in here, that does all our recruitment, is John has lessened the administrative load on her as a coding manager. In other words, she'll zap John a quick email and say, I need to tell all the coders this. And then John will email all the coders and write it out. Or, you know, that administrative part of setting up conference calls, all that other stuff, so she can just focus on coding. And John can handle that part. But we listen to her to alleviate those few hours. You see what I'm saying? Like, keep your door open. If Natasha felt she couldn't come to us, we would never have known. So that's important. It's really important to listen. It truly is. Let's see. Oh, I'm doing good on time. Does anybody know who this woman is? This is Kathy Frawley. Kathy Frawley was the president of AHIMA 3 years ago, and she passed away during her tenure from breast cancer. She was a dear friend of mine. She was an educator in HIM, but she was the one when AHIMA had the statement, dream big and believe. That was Kathy's thing, dream big and believe. And she also used to say, don't go into this profession unless you can accept change. And if you can't accept change, you're in the wrong profession. Because you're not going to be at a machine every day going bing, bing, on an assembly line. Stuff changes all the time. HIPAA came out, HIPAA revised, HIPAA became completely different. We changed from every year you had to change. ICD-9 had changes at every year, every quarter. CMS makes changes. We went from I-9 to I-10. You have to adapt to a new computer system, the new EHR, is it certified? You have to be in charge of change in your own world. And this was a big thing that Kathy always said. To be a leader, you have to be able to adapt to change. You walk into a medical records department or a health information department, and you ask, Sally, you have 3 bins on your desk. Your in bin, your processing bin, and your out bin. Why do you have a processing bin? Because that's the way we always did it. Oh, really? Well, 15 years ago when Betty retired and she taught me this job, this is how she did it, okay? This literally happens out there. Be open to change. I personally would rather have less people work for me than more people, pay those less people more money, and have those less people be critical thinkers that I don't have to micromanage, that only come to me when they smell fish. And by that I mean if you smell fish, there's fish. My mother used to say that. If you smell fish, there's got to be fish somewhere. Why are you smelling fish? So if any of my management team smells fish, I want them to come to me. But here's all the rope. I'm not asking you to hang yourself, but if you're out there figuring out a better way to do something from the way I set it up when I did your job, do it. I mean, they just, our new controller just totally computerized our internal billing process. And I had somebody call me, and they were supposed to call Gil, but she knew me before she knew Gil. She called me, and she wanted to know how to complete this form online, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Katie, I don't know how to complete that. I can tell you why we have to change, the initiative behind the change, who developed the form, but Gilbert is the man that understands your questions. And just kind of a little annoying because it says, please contact Gilbert Doherty with any questions that you have. And she called me because go right to the CEO. Like, I know how to use the damn form. I have no idea. So, but it's a change, and you need to be able to adapt. Get out of your comfort zone. If you've only been a transcriptionist and you enjoy transcription and that's what you love, and you just happen to see, and just an example, not for everybody, but transcription is moving offshore, or your hospital is outsourcing it, or whatever, maybe it's time for you to learn to code. Or maybe it's time for you to get involved with release of information. Or maybe it's time for you to become, somebody on the IS team or IT team. So, adapt to change. If you can't deal with change, get out. Sorry. So I made this too small today, but it's all about your attitude. And it's a positive correlation over time. So if you have a positive mental attitude, you'll see more results, If I came in that grumpy mood that morning and I was mean to Gil and John, they might have sat there all day at their desks and thought, he's such a jerk, I don't care, let me see what's going on Facebook. Instead of being in a positive mental attitude and saying, hey guys, what's going on today? Johnny, you got this thing done? What's going on with the new coders test? And he's like checking on it. Hey Gil, what's going on with this? What's Alex working on with that? Where's Chris Grosso on this? All the things that we ask about, and you're positive and you're smiling. Those leaders are acting like additional leaders, and they're leading their people that report to them. And if they act like that, everybody will be getting more done. Positive mental attitude. You do have a choice every day. Be optimistic, positive, collaborate. It'll make everybody around you successful. You need to be able to inspire at all times. So if I was that grump in the morning, the thing I needed to do was change my attitude because it was affecting these guys, and they're my right arms. You have the power to choose. This is one of Diane's slides. It's the little girly form. But you do have the power to choose. Just because I have a plan make me angry doesn't mean I need to be mean to them. They didn't do anything. This is an interesting slide. The commitment versus time. It's funny, because you had no time, you have no commitment. But over time, you start to buy off. You get that buy off. So what I try and do is, I don't buy off on new concepts. Say, John came to me, actually one of the things my company does is we give a bonus to anybody that introduces an idea each month. that saves the company money and makes it more effective. So John received a bonus because he handles all the travel for the company, and he found a company out of Las Vegas, for instance, that they buy in bulk rooms. So we have an expense when we go to AHIMA, for instance, or HIMSS. The rooms are so expensive. This company pre-buys for their convention a bunch of rooms cheap a year in advance, and then they sell them. So if AHIMA wants $190 a room, John can get the rooms for maybe $145. So John got a bonus. You get $100 every month. Anybody that comes in with an idea, and if it works, you get $100. It keeps everybody thinking about how to save money while increasing our productivity. So you buy off on that, you get excited. Not like, let's stop having water delivered to the office and make everybody drink that water. What are good leaders committed to? Your mission and your vision, you need to know what that is. We have a mission and a vision, and I had one previous, our vision and our mission, and I sat down with the staff, because it was getting stale and old and smelly after 20 years, and I had all the staff sit down and work on our vision, and our mission. They also redid the logo of the company, which I had designed 23 years ago, and now it kind of looks like this, but I didn't realize when I committed to do that, that I'd have to have shirts, pens, the boot redone, the letterhead, everything had to be done. But it's what they wanted, and it's a new look. You got to be committed to the goals and objectives of the company. We did not have a dental plan for insurance, and Gil had a goal to get a dental plan instituted, and he worked hard at that goal, and he found a great plan for us, and it's $15 per person per month or something, right? But be committed to that. The organization, if you work at a hospital or ambulatory clinic, that's, you live, breathe in it. You don't have to live, breathe in it 24/7, but if you put your mindset in that and you're positive, you'll be a better leader for it. Commit to your people. I've lost both my parents over the course of time, and when I lost my dad, my whole staff stepped in and did my job for me, and I was able to deal with that situation for that week. When I lost my mom, my whole staff stepped in, they did all that stuff. If you're committed to the people, I know they're committed to me because I'm committed to them. If there's a problem, Gil's dad was sick, he was in the hospital for a day or two. I said, do you need to fly back to Philadelphia? Do you need to go home? I'll cover all your stuff. He knows I'll do it for him. Same thing with John. You know, his uncle passed away, I think, in Atlanta, and his mom didn't have enough money to fly to the funeral, and I transferred some points from the company's credit card so his mom could fly home. I did that for him. Right? You do that because they're there for you. So you got to be committed to your personal ideals, and this goes with character, and you need to be committed to yourself. I just keep looking at these people and wondering what they're doing. They had a disco, they had a bar. Yeah. The key to this slide is to communicate, and you have to communicate. If you put out a new initiative as a leader, like henceforth herein, please, all employees must fill out this timesheet and have it in by 0800 on Friday morning. And everybody's going to complain. If you communicate to them and tell them, there's recently been an IRS audit, and our timesheets are not compliant, and our CPA firm, which you're paying $300 an hour to, says that we have to now have this form in place. This meets what we need, but if anybody has any feedback how to make it easier to fill out, please let us know. That's a wonderful thing to do. So, is a leader born or made? Did you see this baby thing I downloaded? I don't know where I found it. Vince Lombardi is quoted, leaders are not born, but they're made by effort and hard work. Because we had a lot of leaders that were born, like the prince, the king as the prince, and they're all inbred and all that. You have to work every day hard to be a good leader. You really do. Make others successful in their roles, and you'll celebrate their success. And I hope that I've made my staff, everybody in management, successful, and allow them to be leaders in and of themselves. Share all the credit